Hello and welcome to your Washington, D.C. area residential real estate market report for April of 2026. I am Edward Slavis with the Slavis Group of LPT Realty, and let us begin as always with interest rates. If you've seen the headlines, rates started increasing due to higher oil prices and instability in the Middle East due to our war in Iran. They peaked just over 6.5%, have come back down slightly to 6.44. Anyone's guess on what's going to happen in the coming months, we honestly don't know. There was a lot of pressure on the Fed, or a lot of interest within the Fed even, to lower rates because all the inflation indicators had improved. We were expecting them to go down, closer to 5.5 by year's end. They went in the exact opposite direction. We honestly do not know where rates are going. We want these to come down to help give the real estate market more increase buyer purchasing power and get more buyers off the sidelines. This is the latest data we have on new listings in the Washington, D.C. metro area. This is for all of the D.C. metro area, not just Washington, D.C. proper. As you can see, the last 3 years with higher rates, number of new listings has decreased substantially. We want to see more listings come on the market, and more importantly, we want to see more closed sales. Those are also down considerably from the highs in 2021. Rates started increasing in March of 22, so you can see just the dramatic effect that those have had. Interestingly, the ratio of listed to sold properties has been fairly consistent ever since. The worst year was 2022, the year rates increased it. A lot of uncertainty in the market, how long it would last. Buyers held out. They were pre-approved at very low rates, and then all of a sudden rates were a point, 2 points, 3 points higher. Since then, though, it has been about a 0.87 ratio. So for every 100 homes listed, 87 of them sold. And that's been fairly consistent. And we'll update these numbers after we get through Q2 of 2026. Now let's talk about actual sales prices. This is the median sale for all home types in the metro area. And as you can see, it's still just climbing up year after year after year. So homes are still selling. They are still selling for very good prices metro-wide. If you break it down into different home types, all of these lines, same thing, they're sloping up as they move to the right. So even condos are selling now for a higher median sale price. Those may be larger condos, maybe nicer condos, but the macro data says that prices are still increasing. Price per square foot also all increasing, even for condos, that top line, that yellow line. This just counts homes that have sold, however. There are still plenty of homes that are not not selling. That same ratio. Months of supply is a measurement of supply and demand. How many buyers are there at any one time to buy up the type of property in a given market? The lower this number, the better for sellers. The hotter the real estate market, the higher the number, the better for buyers. The slower the market. It starts off at about 1 to 2 months of supply. That's a seller's market. Between 2 and 3 is more of a balanced market. So at the weakest point, the market's been the last 5-6 years, has been this last year, and it's still only a balanced market. We have not shifted into buyer market territory as a metro region as a whole. However, if you look neighborhood to neighborhood, these are the ones we show every month. This is detached homes in AU Park. This is still a red hot seller's market. Almost all the months are below 1 month of supply, which is a red hot seller's market. There are several months between 1 and 2, which is a seller's market. There are really only 1 or 2 data points in the last 5 years that have been above 2 months of supply. So they had 1 month that it could be called balanced. Other than that, it's been a seller's market. If you look at, so this is for detached homes in AU Park. If you look at condos in Trinidad, these spiked as high as 20 months of supply. Now it has cooled off, or maybe perhaps warmed up, I should say, to about 9 or 10 months of supply. What that means is if you are a seller in Trinidad, if you own a home in Trinidad, if no new condos come on the market in Trinidad, at the rates buyers are currently buying, the homes that are currently for sale right now will not be fully sold until Valentine's Day of next year. So it's a very, very slow market. So when people see a chart like this and say, while the DC market's doing great, it is as a whole, but what you care about, whether you're buying or selling, what you care about is your micro market. AU Park detached homes, red hot sellers market. Condos in Trinidad, very, very slow buyer's market, which is a very good market for buyers. So what does all this mean? Rates are high, but for how long, we don't know. If you have not been pre-approved lately, or if you pre-approved a year ago, rates are still lower. If you were pre-approved 6 weeks ago, rates are now higher. If you're curious as to what you would qualify for, reach out to us. Happy to introduce you to one of our lenders who can get you qualified. Our clients are seeing rates better than the national average, but it's obviously person to person based upon their full credit profile. The market is slower, but homes are still selling at that same percentage. What we're finding is that the right homes will still have bidding wars. The sellers certainly can't take the market for granted, like perhaps some were 4 or 5 years ago. But the micro market matters more than the overall market. I will hear clients talk about what they saw on CNBC or Fox Business about what's going on in the national real estate markets. The DC market itself is in a way meaningless. What matters is your micro market. And that's the home type within your neighborhood, perhaps within your zip code. If you're curious as to what the market is for your neighborhood, then of course, by all means, let us know. We'd love to be a resource for you there. I would assume, however, it's a buyer's market unless your home is properly prepared, priced, and marketed. I would not take that sale for granted because we're seeing that a lot in our market. We've had several buyers recently get very good deals on properties for homes that if the seller had spent a little bit more time in preparation, they could have gotten a much, much better price. So it works out as a windfall for our buyers, and we always try and protect our sellers from making those same mistakes. But if you are looking to buy or sell in the Washington, D.C. area, by all means, please let us know. We would love to be a resource for you, whether that is buying, selling, refinancing, renovating, renting, you name it. Try to do all things for you here, residential real estate. And again, would love to be a resource for you. Thanks for watching. Take care.